Turbo Conquering Mega Eagle! Hi folks. Okay, we've got a cross off one of the little underground bunker problems we're having, which is water removal. You know, we're below the water level here, you know, at 30 foot. So finding a nice reliable pump is imperative to success, I suppose, isn't it? So what I've rigged up here, because currently we've not been down the hole in quite a long time, and it's really filled up. There's about 10 tonne of water in there, I suppose, there or thereabouts. And I've made this little test rig up so we can torture test 12 volt pumps. This is a caravan pump, so a mobile home sort of pump, a little diaphragm. Reasonably high pressure, so we only need one, and that should be able to shoot water all the way up from 30 foot. This reckons to be about 60 psi. Very low delivery, like 5.5 litres, so it's not going to get our hole emptied today, because I reckon we've got about 10,000 litres of water in there, yeah, just for scale. But if this pump got us, you know, near the bottom, that water's not entirely clean. It's probably settled out a little bit, so it's nice and clean at the top perhaps, but dirty down below. Whee! Yeah, I think if this pump does it, then we know this sort of pump is a little bit better. We have tried a couple of pumps already. This centrifugal or peripheral pump, centrifugal I guess, this is a brushless one. I had problems with grit, the finest of the grit, getting in between the rotor and the shaft, and that would wear out, and then the rotor would separate from the magnet, so they're not entirely durable. Clean water, these are probably quite nice, cheap. The other thing is they're quite low pressure, reasonably high delivery but low pressure, so I had to daisy chain these. This is a more basic brush type. This one's new. I got this from my still, but the condenser, but yeah, we tried one of these at the bottom and that's okay. It seems to be a little bit more robust, brush type, with the shaft itself spins, so but yeah, you can't daisy chain these, so I never tried that. Nice little pump, again very cheap. I think this is even cheaper, but yeah, this is a bit more expensive, this one. No, it's about 15 quid's worth of pump. Really expensive. But obviously we only need one of these, yeah. Whereas at 30 foot I'd need you know, 3 or 4 of these, and being a diaphragm pump, I'm hoping it will do a little bit better with stray sediment and that. Once we get sorted down below, everything's going to go into a sump and it will be running across concrete, so we'll always get a bit of sediment, but it can settle in the sump. So a pump like this, as long as it's only got to deal with a tiny bit of sediment, you know, that it won't be dealing with great big chunks of mud anymore, yeah, like we had to do before. Either way, that's what we'll do. Bit of polystyrene. We've got a timer module, because I didn't want to run this flat out for a day, because that would kill it, won't it? So we've got a little infinite loop timer, so it'll switch it on for a minute, and then it can cool down for a minute, and then it'll come back on for a minute. You know what I mean? So should give it a bit of a break, and just a 15 amp hour battery here. So I mean, this battery ain't going to empty the whole shaft anyway. So I'll slip another battery on, you know, and then start it up again tomorrow, and it can run all day, and then I'll probably pull it out at night time or whatever in it. That's what we'll do. All right, let's see what happens. At the hole again. Da, 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 da. Yeah, there's a lot of debris down there. And we're 1, 2, 3.5. So the water's up 6.5 rings. What's that in meters? 6.5 times 1.2, 10 meters. Yeah, so it's more than 10 tons. We've got a 4 foot diameter hole, 1.2 meter hole. Anyway, let's drop the old HMS pumps a lot down, and pipe the captain aboard and see what happens with this. The pickup pipe, no filter on it, just right there. Just right there. Oh, it's getting a little bit crimped actually with the weight of that battery. That'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah, it's not sucking huge gulps at a time. It'll be alright, I think. Let's switch it on, drop it down and see what happens. What have we got to do here? Switch it on. Okay, we've got our hose. Oh, there she goes. Started up again. It's probably not even quite 30 seconds to be honest, but you know, whatever. This will be a good simulation as to what will happen to it in real life, although hopefully it won't come on quite so frequently, but it will be stop-start, won't it, I guess. Alright, what's the time now? Time now. Uh, 10 to 2. Let's come back in an hour and see what's happened. We're just below, I don't know if you can see there, but the bolt hole on ring number 1, 2, 3, 4, bolt hole on ring number 4 is 6 inches above the water. Okay. Yeah, she's not doing, you know, she's not going particularly fast, but I'm about a foot below the bolt hole now, and it's been about, I don't know, 2 hours. When was it last? Yeah, it was 20 to 4, so I think it was about 20 to 2 last time, wasn't it? 2 hours, yeah. All that shit down there. I think it's going to be more enjoyable to pick that up off the bottom than bring it all the way up than it is to try and fish it out of the water right now. Okay, so we're not doing overly well with this little pump. First day it worked okay, and then the second day I put it in and it just seemed to be treading water. It did pump eventually if I gave it a long hard suck on the pipe. That water's a bit foul, so you try and avoid doing that as much as I can. I'm not ill yet, so hopefully everything's alright and I won't get ill. What I've done to help it, the pickup pipe was collapsing a little bit, so we've got hard pipe here going up to the pub. The suction pipe is now an aluminium. That bit of hose there is only unsupported for about, what? I don't know, that little stretch there, 3/4 of an inch or so. On top of that I've put a couple of NRVs in non-return valves, so that should keep the weight of the water off the valves in the pump when it's not in use, and also stop air, because this pipe's quite a large bore. I suppose we are getting air travel along it when it's static as well, so yeah, you know, if it's going to work, this will be the things that help it work. Let's give it a go and see what happens. Where's the air coming from, hey? Oh well, it seems to be working again. I'm going to keep an eye on it, just see what's going on with that air. I think it's just clearing out the pipe, but we shall soon find out. Alright, she's back in action. Couple of bandages. This torture test isn't going too well, but we'll keep going until it's dead, or we're at the bottom of the hole. The little pump's not doing too badly. It's just turning dusk now. I might actually leave it in there overnight. give it a little bit of slack on the hose and rope. I think overnight it's not going to do much more than a couple of foot, so I'm not too worried about it. It's pumped almost an entire ring overnight, eh? You can't really see that now, but it's nearly at the bottom of ring 5. That's good. 1 ring a night. I think it just about got to the mortar line when I checked on it before I went to bed. Pretty cool. Let's switch the battery because it's probably needs a freshen up now, doesn't it? We'll just have a look, see what the delivery rate's like now. Still pumping. It has slowed up a bit. So we've cleared 4 rings, I think now. Maybe it's 5. I can't remember where it was now. Obviously we'll know because I'll look at the beginning of this video. But 4 or 5 rings. Where was it? 1, 2, 3. Maybe the 4th one was half full. Yeah, I think it was. You know, I can see the scum line down. Half full number 4. Hey, so we've cleared 4.5 rings below number 8. And I know it's not the depth because it was pumping hard this morning, but it's now but a trickle, isn't it? Hey, I'll just wait for it to switch on again so you can see what I mean. This isn't particularly scientific, is it? Hey, otherwise we'd measure how much water it is pumping out on each cycle. Gives me a good idea though. There we go. Yep, so I was, you know, it's gotten so far without even missing a beat. I was half expecting to have to take drastic measures in order to kill this pump, but I think it's going to fail without external influence. You know, I was thinking that maybe I'd try and just fill it up with sediment, you know, fine grit, and see what that did to it. I don't think it's going to make it that far. We'll keep it running though, see if it can get the last couple of rings empty. Okay, so good news with the pump. It appears to just be a little bit of contamination that's preventing it from working. We've got a lovely little design. Look, we've got the motor here with an eccentric shaft on it and a bearing mounted on the eccentric shaft. It's actually a twin chamber pump, so there's effectively 2 different pumps. Either way, the bearing sits in here in this plastic yoke, and the plastic yoke obviously goes up and down because it's on the eccentric. And then we've got covers removed at the minute. So this is the pump chamber here, which goes up and down. We've got one each side, top and bottom. They go up and down, and then we've got our valves into the pump, out the pump. They're just, you know, non-return valves, which is kind of what you have in any diaphragm pump. Most displacement pumps are like that, aren't they? You've just got a non-return valve each side of the pump itself. I suppose they're integral to the pump, aren't they, really? But I can't get these off. It feels like it's going to damage these bits of plastic. Where there's this soft plastic, they're rubberized polymer, I suppose. We had wood fibres underneath underneath all the valve seats, so it's not dealing well with that sort of thing. But it doesn't appear to have done any damage. We haven't really got to any sediment water yet, so it's hard to tell if it would cope with that. But you know, I don't see why it wouldn't. Pull the fibres out of the outlet valves as best I could. There's nothing. Oh yeah, maybe there is a little bit there still. No. on the inlet side. That stuff like this. The little wood fibres that I've got down there, because I've been doing woodwork with the shuttering and formwork on top of the hole. So that's what's got underneath the seat and stopped it really pumping too well, hasn't it? So I think we can put it back together and it'll work. And certainly with a pickup screen, we won't be in this problem. But I really want to see what the sediment does to it. So you know, rather than making a screen, we're just going to throw it back together and and then stick it back down the hole, and hopefully it'll pump again. Good news. Good news. Yeah, I like the design though. It's very simple but effective, isn't it? And you know, this is a what's the PSI in this? Oh, okay. Yeah, it has a you know, little micro switch is the pressure switch on the front, and that's operated by this screw, I think, protruding here. I'm guessing that's on another diaphragm inside, and that just pushes out, or the whole thing distorts or something horrible like that. You know, lovely little design. We'll pull it apart completely once I've killed it. Okay, so I should have been a little bit more careful checking this pump out before I put it back down the hole. I did stick it back down there, but couldn't get it to pump, and then I tried sucking the water through to prime it a little bit, and I found I could suck and blow through it. So okay, so I'm going to try and show you the damage to these. This is the valve seat. A little bit awkward here. Let me get on the back of the camera. I'll be able to see a little bit better what I'm doing there. It's the wrong colour for seeing anything, isn't it? Oh, there we go. You can see it. Okay. So can you make out? There's a chamfered flap. That's the valve seat itself, and there's a little ring. Little ring that the valve has left, where it's been contacting the seat. But it's not nice and smooth. Yeah, you see little raised portions, and this is the pin that locates the spring. The valve itself seems okay. I think the valves are harder material than the seat, but not knowing what that sealing edge should have looked like before, it's kind of hard to tell. Doesn't look damaged though, so yeah, these little valve seats are not suitable for this application, are they? I gave it every chance, I think. I don't think sediments cause this problem, or even that wood. It's just worn out, hasn't it? Maybe the wood was the wood fibres were the final straw, but these aren't good enough for us. So I want to try a little fuel pump solenoid pump. I've seen one, again same sort of price, about a tenner for. And it reckons it's good for 45 psi. I think down at the bottom of the hole, I'll around 11 psi. So you know, anything more than 11 should pump, but as the pressure increases with those solenoid pumps, the delivery rate reduces massively. But it's a very low amperage pump, so we'll have a little go with that next and see what happens. Anyway, that's these little caravan pumps, not suitable for the job. Fun little pump though, nice design, but perhaps not the best materials. Alright, okay, take it easy folks, that's it for today. I'll see you all again soon with cheap pump torture testing. Alright, cheerio, bye bye.